chapter 1, verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families, by the house of their father.
Yeah, by the house of your father. You see, because you are who your father is. You see, because there's some patriarchy here in the Bible. It's not a matriarchy. There's never been a time in history where you had, a nation of spoilers send in all of their women to get impregnated and then talk about taking over that nation. It's always about the man, because it's about passing down the inheritance or what have you. So if you say that your grandfather was Jamaican, then he would be on the list here as a Benjamin or what have you. So even if you do have, I guess, with the nationality, what they want to categorize you as being an African or your father being an African, like no, it's the biblical nationality, because we're here to wake up our people. You see, because let's get Jeremiah 17 and 4. Because what happened, our people, the Israelites rather, we've been cursed, and one of the curses was the fact that we would have our nationalities taken away from us. You see, and our culture taken as far as being an Israelite.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee.
Yes, the heritage that the Lord Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, gave us. You see, as far as the 12 tribes of Israel, Jacob, the line goes Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You see, and Jacob, his name was turned to Israel, and he's the progenitor of those 12 tribes. You see, so if your father comes from any of those 12 tribes, then hey, you're Israel. And that's what we're out here to do. We're out here to wake up the remnant. And the remnant, that's everywhere. Let's get into, we can finish this off here. Then we'll get Deuteronomy 28:64.
And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in a land which thou knowest not.
Yeah, that's what's going on. Or what's been going on even up to this point, that we're serving our enemies. You see, reading on.
For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever.
Yeah, forever. And that's what's going on now, even to this day. You see, and let's get as far as Deuteronomy 28:64 to kind of explain some of these things. The majority of the slave trades or what have you has been towards the Western Hemisphere, to this land here, North America, and then also South America also as well. But also, we have a lot of our people that have fled different parts of into different parts of Africa also.
Hey, it smells like chicken, honey.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
Yeah, that's what the Lord did. We've been scattered amongst all people. That's one of the curses for our disobedience.
From the one end of the earth, even until the other.
Yeah, from one end of the earth, even until the other.
And there thou shalt serve other gods.
And that's what happened to our people. You just talked about how you were, raised like a Catholic, what have you. That's one of the branches of Christianity, basically. It's all under the same umbrella with the Roman Catholic Church. You see, you're worshiping other gods whenever you're amongst that particular religion.
And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Wood, that represents Christianity, and then you also have stone. Stone that goes back to the Mecca stone that the Muslims bow down to. See, wood and stone. You see, let's go to the 15th. Actually, we'll start 28 and 1. What have you? Yeah, 28 and 1.
Is this a real auction, public sale of shares?
Excuse me?
This actually happened, this?
Oh, yeah. We're going to get into that also. These are all visuals of the verses that were placed on my people as far as the yoke of iron. We need to get that one. Let's go to 28 and 48.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
Which the Lord shall send. See, the Lord did all of this to
in hunger, and in thirst,
in hunger and in thirst,
and in nakedness.
and in nakedness. Hey, that's food, that's clothes, that's water. Hey, we gotta pay a water bill, for water. Hey, food. Hey, we don't own the major franchises or what have you. And if we do, if we are able to get a loan under being a so-called African American, or get a grant or what have you, hey, you got to get that grant and you got to open up a franchise. You can't open up something of your own. Reading one.
And in want of all things.
One of all things. You know, so anything that you want, you got to go to the heathen to get. You know,
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
yoke of iron, and that's what you see there. You know, hey, that's spiritual or what have you, and physical. Yoke, hey, as far as being in bondage, serving other gods, and being amongst the heathen, all this witchcraft that's going on that you're seeing even still, pretty much.
Until he have destroyed thee.
Until he has destroyed thee, and that's the majority of our people that are not woken up to this truth. Hey, let's look at Isaiah 46. Hey, because our people are destroyed. You know,
This has been happening since the days of slavery.
even before that, but leading up to, yes, exactly.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge.
My people, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and those Israelites that are scattered from one end of the earth to the other are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge of these laws, statutes, and commandments. Lack of knowledge of the Lord's real name and His Son's real name, Yahweh. That's the Father's name, which means He is, means He exists, and the Son's name, which means He delivers and He saves. Yahweh and Yahweh Shah.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge.
Hey, our people reject this now. Hey, we're just going into it, you know, about, hey, our people will walk by and you try to tell them, hey, you a princess, you a king, and they reject it, you know. And we got to make sure that we're lifting our people up and not breaking our people down or what have you. Reading on.
I will also reject thee.
I will also reject thee. You see, and that's what we're, hey, that's fair. You know, if you're a parent or if you're in a position of authority and you're trying to tell somebody something and they reject it, and hey, it's a natural reaction, a righteous reaction to reject that person. You see, and that's what the Heavenly Father did to His people.
Come on. Now thou shalt be no priest to me.
Hey, you're not going to be able to come out here and wake up the people and teach in righteousness and in truth. What happened anymore?
Seeing thou hast not forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children.
It's thy children. You see, and hey, this is perpetual. You know, this isn't just one generation that's going to bear the iniquity. You know, this generation. You know, this perpetual. Lamentations 5 and 7. You see, you know, because hey, you know, our fathers. You know, that's where it starts from. You know, I mean, we got Yahweh Shai, man, woman, and child. You know, and our fathers, hey, they reject this knowledge. Lamentations 5 and 7. Right after Jeremiah. Yeah, our fathers, they reject the will 5 and 7.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 5, verse 7. Our fathers have sinned.
Our fathers have sinned. We've been going in. And what is sin? Hey, you know what sin is? Hey, let's get the definition of sin. We can hold that and then we can get first. You already know where to go. First John 3, 4.
First 3 for sure.
Yeah, First John. Yeah, First John. Listen. That's one thing. Basics, you know. I mean, it's one thing to say that our fathers have sinned. A lot of people, they don't even know what sin is.
This is 1 John, chapter 3, verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law.
Transgresseth the law. Transgress means to break. So if you break these laws, statutes, and commandments, then you're in sin. Reading on.
For sin is the transgression of the law.
Sin is the transgression of the law. You see, and let's get Romans 7 and 1 also as well. Because hey, that's what the Lord speaks to. The Lord speaks to the people that know the law. You know, I mean, hey, that's what we're gonna get right here. Everything is coming with thus saith the Lord.
Let's The book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 1. Know ye not, brethren, for I have speak to them that know the law.
I speak to them that know the law. So you're going to be out here ministering, and you're going to be out here trying to wake up the people, and you got to know the law. And that's what the Lord is dealing with, those that know the law. You know?
How that the law has dominion over man as long as he liveth.
As long as you're living on this earth, or what have you, and you're bound to this law, and you're bound to following these law statutes and commandments. And if you're not doing that, hey, then you're breaking the law, and the Lord is going to reject you because of that. You see? Oh yes, take as many pictures. Yeah, take as many pictures. You know, let's get on some of the verses. We're going to start with there's blessings. The Lord is all about balance here.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And they shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Listen, that's a hearken meaning listen, and listen diligently. You know, you can't just only hear it whenever you feel like it. You know, like you gotta be looking for the word. You know, that truth.
To observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Yeah, above all nations. You see, and that just tells you, hey, the Lord is a separatist. You see, the Lord ain't dealing with everybody. He's dealing with his specific people. You see, and that's the Israelites. You see, now let's get on Sirach, 17. The Lord does have a particular people, you know. All right, well, we can give you a breakdown. That's scripture.
The book of Sirach, chapter 17, verse 17. For in the division of the nations of the whole earth, he set a ruler over every people. But Israel is the Lord's portion.
But Israel is the Lord's portion, you see. So the Lord, he set a ruler up over every nation on the earth, you see. But he's only dealing with his people. You know, Israel is the Lord's portion. And if we follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, or what have you, then, hey, we will be set on high. And we're going to get into Deuteronomy 28 and 15 if we do not follow these laws, statutes, and commandments and serve the Lord, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, diligently. You see, there's consequences for that. And that's what we're going through now.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Yes, all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. You see? So there's curses that the Lord Yahweh put on his chosen people as punishment for not following these laws, statutes, and commandments. We went into earlier about serving our enemies and the land which we don't know, and about how we had a yoke of iron upon our necks or what have you because of it, you know. And we're going to get into lastly here. Okay, come. Hey, come. You know, fire here. There's a YouTube channel right there on the bottom or what have you. And we're going to get 28 and 16. Yeah. Channel right there on the bottom. Don't get 5 minutes. Watch and listen.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee unto Egypt again with ships.
But into Egypt again. Egypt meaning bondage. You see, because we were already brought out of the land of Egypt, and there's no account of us having to go back into Egypt. You see, reading on.
By the way, whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Yeah, so after we were brought over here by way of slave ships, which only happened to the Israelites, by the way. Hey, that's spiritual right there. You see yourself on the sign right here, King? You see yourself on the sign right here, King? As far as the nationality of your father? Because we're out here to wake up the 12 tribes of Israel and those Israelites that are scattered from one side of the earth to the other.
Verse 9. Judah is a lion's whelp.
Judah is the lion's whelp. You see the scripture right there. Yep. Yeah, that's spiritual. Reading on.
From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He couched as a lion. And as an old lion who shall rouse him up.
Yeah, couch down. Because what happened, hey, after Jake, goes through this oppression for so long, that Jake gets comfortable with it. And Jake, that's short for Jacob, as far as the slang is concerned. Yeah, but, it says here, who shall rouse him up? Now, right now, you're seeing Jake being roused up. You see, the tribe of Judah being roused up right now, with this election, with all of this oppression, and you're seeing uprisings all across the United States, all across the world, and our job is to be able to wake our people up. As far as and one way that we're waking our people up is going through the curses here, because the Lord, He curses chosen people for disobedience to these laws, statutes, and commandments. Have you ever thought about why we're in the condition that we're in? Why we're at the bottom of everything? Why we're being gunned down in the streets?
Yes and no. Because of oppression.
Right here, you see? Hey, he's a wise man. Hey, let's go ahead and get this here. Deuteronomy 28:1.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Hearken meaning listen diligently, reading on.
To observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Above all nations. Look at Deuteronomy 7:6. Because the Lord, hey, he wants his chosen people to be separate and holy and above everybody. But we got to be able to be obedient to him in order for that to happen. Reading on.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people.
Holy meaning separate, not like high and mighty. Holy meaning separate and set apart.
For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Unto himself. You see, a special people unto himself. Everybody wants to claim that they're a child of the Most High. No. He's only dealing with a specific group of people, and that's his chosen people that are on this side right here. Okay, got it. Yeah, there's the flyer.
Thank you.
Hey,
YouTube channel. YouTube on there. Check it out.